And then I got hit by a truck. For this video, I've tried my best to describe my injuries. It doesn't include everything because there were just too many. When I arrived at Providence Medical Center in Anchorage, there was an entire team of surgeons waiting for me. Multiple surgeons were working throughout the day and night. I was in surgery for approximately 16 hours. I had over 10 blood product transfusions, which is my body's entire blood supply. My face had so many complete fractures that it was in 5 different pieces. The ocular muscles holding my right eyeball in place were torn, and my eyeball was bleeding internally. My frontal lobe in my brain was bleeding. My nose no longer had any structure. My sinus cavity was crushed. The enamel had been scraped off of most of my teeth from my teeth grinding against each other. I lost part of the bone in my lower jaw, as well as several of my teeth. Over half of my teeth were either gone, cracked in half, or missing pieces, which is the reason you can hear a slight lisp in all of my videos. My right humerus was snapped in two. The sharp edge cut through and severed my main artery. I lost circulation to my hand. My hand was turning purple. The surgeon was not sure if she would be able to save my arm. Thankfully, she was able to cut my cephalic vein and use it for an arterial bypass. My left arm was hyperextended during the impact, and so I had high-grade tears throughout my entire shoulder, disabling movement in my left arm. My right collarbone was crushed, along with almost every rib in my chest. I can't show artistically. My ribs are broken also on the back side as well as the front. This created something called a flail chest, a condition where your chest has no structure anymore. I had a laceration over half of my liver from one of the broken ribs cutting into it. My lungs had both pneumothoraxes and hemothoraxes in them, meaning my lungs had collapsed and were bleeding. The pericardial sac around my heart was ruptured and torn. The surgeon who repaired my heart was an expert in his field with over 40 years of experience. He had only seen a tear in a pericardial sac twice in his career. He was shocked. My phrenic nerve was still intact. The phrenic nerve runs right over where that tear in my heart was, and it also controls your diaphragm and your ability to breathe. If that had been damaged, I would have died within minutes of not being able to breathe. I was hit on my left side, and my left leg took the brunt of that impact. My leg was facing the wrong direction. I had a degloving and open fracture, 2 femur fractures, a tibial fracture, and all ligaments were completely torn in my knee. Several plates needed to be placed throughout my body. The plates look like bicycle chains that they screw in to stabilize the broken bones. And so in my face, I have multiple plates. They had to wire my mouth shut in order to stabilize all the pieces of my skull. Because of that, the endotracheal tube they had placed had to be removed and a tracheotomy was put in. For my arm, they had to put a large rod, which is actually a little bit too long and protrudes from my elbow. For my chest, I had multiple rib plates put in addition to a plate across my right collarbone. I had chest tubes, 4 of them placed for the pneumothoraxes and hemothoraxes. Because my mouth was wired shut and I had a tracheotomy, unfortunately this meant I needed a feeding tube as well. I remember waking up in the surgeries. I could feel the needles. I could feel the threads going in through me. And then I heard beeping going up, going up, going up. They said, "Oh, I think she's awake. Yep, she's awake. More meds, more meds." And then I was back under again. With anesthesia, they had to be very careful because I was so close to death. They did not want to give me too much medicine. Hence why I was unfortunately waking up during some of the surgeries. For my leg, because all of the major ligaments in my knee were torn, the bottom half of my leg was moving around like Gumby. The only thing holding it in place was the skin. And because the damage was so extensive, there was nothing for them to really repair. It basically looked like hamburger inside. There was nothing to sew back together. The best they could do was to put an external fixator on to stabilize my leg. With all of this and all of this immobility came a urinary and anal catheter. Everyone's favorite. Many injuries they were not able to attend to in those moments because they were not life-threatening. So, broken ankles, broken shoulders, contusions, gashes, all of those were left unattended while they did the procedures they needed to do to save my life.